Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer board game review. And today's game up on the tabletop is I Love Hate Everything by Teeny Tiny Tiki Games. This is a 3 to 10 player game. Takes roughly about 25 to 90 minutes to play, basically as long as you'd like, depending on the number of players, and ages 14 and up. And in the game I Love Hate Everything, you are playing a type of apples to apples, Cards Against Humanity style game in which players are going to draw cards from this big stack of white cards. One player is going to draw one of these black cards, and then you are going to have all players play a card. The organizer, or the player who has the black card, is going to organize these cards based on a criteria of love or hate. Pick a card they love or hate depending on the category, and that player who basically plays that card will win the round. And you'll pass until somebody gets 5. It's a pretty simple, straightforward game. I'll explain how to set the game up and how to play, but we'll do it all in one take, so I think it'll be pretty simple for you guys. And we'll discuss what I think about the game I Love Hate Everything, a game for opinionated players. Setting up the game is actually quite simple, and the way it works is you take both decks of cards and separate them, and then shuffle the white and black deck. The player who is shuffling and dealing is the player who's going to start, and they are going to get a black card in addition to their white cards, and every player should have their 5 cards. Once everybody has 5 cards, the card that is black is going to be revealed, and the card is either going to say love, or it is going to say hate. There are 2 different categories in the game, and one of these categories is going to determine what you're aiming to guess based on the player who is the moderator, the guy who is the lover slash hater. And how it works is the player who has the black card is going to set their white cards aside. They're not going to place a white card in, but everybody else will pick one. They will take one of their cards and place it in the middle of the field. And once everybody has done so, the dealer slash player who started with the black card is going to shuffle them up so that nobody knows which card is whose. From there, the category is going to be placed down, as well as all the white cards. And then that player is going to basically organize them from the least loved to the most loved. In this case, because it's a love category. If it was a hate category, they would do the same for hate. Least hated to most hated. I love being single, Beyonce, and planning home improvement projects. Well, my favorite thing would be planning home improvement projects. Second most loved thing would be Beyonce, and third would be being single. So actually this kind of fits in perfectly for me. And I would be like, okay, my favorite one, the one I love, is planning home improvement projects. And player B would be like, oh, that's my card. In which case, they would score the love category. All the rest of the cards will get discarded. Everybody's going to then draw a card that played a card. And the dealer is going to pass to the next player in clockwise order, or to the dealer's left. In which case, they are going to take a new card. Oh look, it's a hate category card. And now every player is going to choose a card from their hand that they think that player hates. Maybe it's discussing diets, pina coladas, going to the gym, high-rise buildings, or your hometown. And if I think that they hate where they used to live, or being too high, maybe they have a fear of heights, or going to the gym, maybe they don't like to drink, or maybe they're not a big fan of dieting, I'd play those cards out to hopefully get the coveted category card of hate, because getting 5 of them is how you win the game. Yes, it's a judging slash guessing type of a game in which you're getting to know players and trying to organize your cards as best as possible to fit the category of love or hate, depending on the person. But it has this unique quality to it. It's a little different than Cards Against Humanity, even though it plays pretty much exactly the same. So let's talk about it. So this is a category of game I basically categorize as being in the judging games. A judging card game is a game where players get cards, select a card, place it face down, they shuffle it up, and the player who is doing the judging will judge and select one of them. The player who put that card in is the winner. Whether it be because it's the most funny, or it creates the best story, or the best poem, or perhaps it has to do with a category like love and hate. This obviously falls into that category, and it plays just like those other games. As far as how the game is set up and how it is played, it is not unique in that way. This is literally a judging game in the basic sense of judging games, playing out a love card or a hate card category and then other players trying to guess. This is actually the difference between those games and a game like this, is getting to know your player on a personal level. Maybe in a game that involves you trying to write or come up with a poem based on a number of cards, and then the player reads it and selects his favorite poem. There's kind of an idea of, oh, this player likes this thing or that thing, and thusly I'll make this type of a poem, or it's this type of funny or that type of funny, and you're guessing what type of humor that player has, or where it's Cards Against Humanity, where it's what is going to make the player laugh the most, or what makes the most sense in this specific dynamic. This game is all about categorizing your cards based on the player. Not everyone will hate pina coladas. Some players are going to love them. Other players will find them somewhere in the middle. Your objective is to place the card based on the player, which makes this an excellent icebreaker game. This is a game you can play at work. This is a game where you get to know your fellow team members for a community group or a high school. And as far as I can tell, for the most part, all of these cards are fairly reasonable as far as like not too dirty. You're not going to find the biggest, blackest blank in this type of a game, whereas you would in Cards Against Humanity. It's things like going to the doctor, or facial recognition surgery, or the British monarchy, or vending machine crackers, reading the directions, chocolate chip cookies, having a daily schedule, etc., etc. They are things that happen throughout everyday life that people have to deal with, or go to, or think about. And you are going to be basing it based on the player. And everybody's a little different when it comes to their loves and hates. And so being able to kind of get to know players and placing these out is going to be a really solid aspect to the game. It makes the game a little different than those other judging card games. Now, if you know me, me and judging card games. If it involves trying to be funny, forcing you to be funny in some way, or just party games in general that are like, be funny, I don't like those type of games. Cards Against Humanity is not one of my favorites because it's short-lived. The cards that get played over and over again that tend to attract certain players are obviously the cards that are going to win. A lot of my friends, it's like the most heinous card that you play is the card that is going to be the one that they pick, or the most reasonable card for the situation if you just happen to have that card, and I'm just not a big fan of that game. This game, however, I like. I enjoy judging card games when they make sense and when it's a good icebreaker, and this one meets both of those categories. This is a game about understanding your opponents and trying to play to their likes and dislikes, and utilizing the cards in your hand as best as you can. Now, obviously, if you know Bill hates bees and you have bees, you're saving that card for Bill, and there's still going to be those instances where obviously certain cards go with certain people, but when it comes to newer players, a starting off game night where you're going to the bar and playing games with people, or a board game cafe, this is a solid game to start playing to learn about the people you're playing with before you get into something like, I don't know, Barbaric, or Cities of Venus, or Age of Rome, those bigger, heavier type of games, because this speaks a lot about the type of player that they are, and you get to know a little bit about their personal life without getting too personal. Being able to place certain cards down, and there's a bit of laughs involved as well, and of course the fact that when players reveal their cards and their choices, players will be like, this one I don't hate as much as you might think because of this story, and this one is actually one I dislike a lot because this happened to me, or because I really don't like this, or you might think I like chocolate, which I do, but I hate Milk Duds because of the texture. And so you get to learn about those players. A wonderful little icebreaker type of a game. That being said, this is still a judging card game, and if you don't like judging card games, then nothing about this game is going to probably change your mind as far as those type of things go. You're going to be like, oh, it's a judging card game, I'm not really interested in that. But if it's more about the premise of the game, if you want something a little bit more ice-breaky, a little bit more about learning with the players that are around you and understanding what their likes and dislikes are, with a little more substance, a little more flavor, and a bit of storytelling involved in the game as they explain why they hate or why they love certain things and in what order. And of course, fights breaking out where somebody knows somebody else at the table, but nobody else knows them. And they're like, wait a second, you think you like the going to the beach? I've never seen you go to the beach. And then this little thing involves, and that's fun. Keeping at the table and enjoying that kind of little banter is an enjoyable aspect of these type of games. And the fact that it gets a little personal without being too over the top or crossing any lines, I think is a solid way to get to know new people. So this is a great new people style judging party card game that fits in the categories of Cards Against Humanity and Apples to Apples. It's probably somewhere in the middle there, with a little more structure and continuity than those type of games. It's not just be funny or throw the funniest thing down. Now it comes down to knowing the people that are around you. So if you're looking for that type of a game, this is going to be an instant pickup for you. For me, I enjoy games like these. I like the idea of learning about the people around me. However, it's going to be with certain groups of people. I probably won't play this with just me, my wife, and maybe two of my best friends. I'd rather play these with new players, getting to know new people at new locations, and that's where I'd like to bring out games like this. They're quick, simple, easy to understand, and good for gamers or people who are not gamers, so they don't have to learn a lot of rules or understand a lot of aspects to the game. It's very, very simple. This is like on a scale of 1 to 10 for complexity, this is like a 2. really easy to get involved with, which is great for certain types of people. And when playing with those types of people, this is a game I would easily bring out. However, those people who are more strategically minded, who want something a little thicker, a little heavier, or a little deeper, maybe not. But overall, a solid recommendation for those of you who are fitting that specific category of a game that you're looking for. Yeah, this is a cool little I love, hate everything game, and there are a variety of cool cards, which hopefully I showed you some B-roll of all the different cards that you have available to you as far as loving and hating. Thank you guys for watching another Unfiltered Gamer board game, or in this case, card game review for the game I love/hate everything by Teeny Tiny Tiki Games. Obviously more players is better with these games. More players, because that just means you get to know more people and you have more ways in which you can create a cool little scale. If you're looking for more videos from us, we do 2 or 3 videos a week, and we also do a live stream on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. PST where we play games just like this one. And in fact, if I ever have a group of new people joining us for the live stream, this is a game I bring out. And of course, hitting that subscribe button. The subscribe button does greatly help us out, so you can see more of our videos in the future, shows indie productions and Kickstarter content, just like this game here, which, like I said, there's a link down below for you to go ahead and take a look at the Kickstarter or click it for the pre-back, so you have a chance to look at it and see if it's something that you'd like to purchase when it becomes live. All right, guys, that's all I got for you this time, and as always, I look forward to seeing you guys next time.